Whenever a new version of Python comes out, the focus is almost always on what's new in that release. Very rarely does the conversation turn to what's been removed. It's a very important point of discussion though, as every Python release removes a ton of things. This could be because features are untested, undocumented, unmaintained, insecure, or even just downright broken. But it could also just be that a newer and better way to do something just makes the old way redundant. Though with a language as old and as widely used as Python, you could effectively guarantee that at least someone uses this undesired behavior, which is why Python deprecates things. We'll be talking about these deprecations in this video as well, so you can get ready to start making any migrations that you need to make. By the way, if you like what I'm wearing right now, check out Undocumented. They do some really great clothing for devs and make contributions to open source projects for every purchase you make. So take a look and make the easiest open source contribution you've ever made. You can get 10% off your first order, use the link in the description below. Now that you've done that, let's see what Python 3.13 has removed and what it plans to remove in the future. The big story with regard to this is the removal of dead batteries as proposed in PEP 594. 3 had already been removed in 3.12 after being deprecated in 3.6, but the remaining 19 were all deprecated in 3.11, and as such have been removed in line with the minimum 2-year deprecation period. The oldest of these modules had been around for 32 years and was just old technology, though most of them aren't that much newer, and a lot have at least one replacement. Shadow Password in particular, one of the newer modules on the list actually, is horrifically insecure to the point that its usage as a whole should be considered a security bug and is actually forbidden on systems with certain security engines. It provides direct access to the Unix Shadow Password database using non-standard APIs, and if that description doesn't send shivers down your spine, I don't know what will. CGI is another one to fall by the wayside, this time over design and usability concerns. For those unaware, it stands for Common Gateway Interface, and it provides a way for web servers to call external programs to process requests. As you can imagine, this is far from ideal, and various parts of the Python documentation are not afraid to properly rip into it. The deprecation notice for CGI support in the HTTP module claims anything is better than CGI, and PEP 206 described the module as poorly designed and near impossible to fix. Ouch. MSIlib was a Windows-only module, that's something that doesn't come around too often in Python, and was capable of creating .msi installer files, which used to be a pretty common way to install things in Windows. It also had support for creating cabinet files, which I don't think I've seen outside of Windows 95. That's probably why it got removed. Other modules were in the firing line initially, but were saved and soft deprecated instead because their removals were deemed too disruptive. This just means that old code that supports them can continue to do so, but newer code shouldn't use them at all. Perhaps the highest profile of these withdrawn deprecations is optparse, which is the backend of choice by the click argument parser. You know, the one that's downloaded 8 million times every day. Yeah. If you do still need any of these modules for whatever reason, you might be able to find them on the Python package index. Out of the ones I delved into, only CGI has been redistributed there, though others like AudioOp and SunAU have been, so you never know. Another removal that I've already talked about a little is that of chained class method decorators. Introduced in 3.9, this allowed the class method decorator to honour the descriptor protocol of wrapped methods, enabling the use of things like class properties. This, however, turned out to be quite majorly flawed and led to several issues, mainly that calling help on a class with class properties would actually execute the property, not just once but multiple times. I talked about this bug on the channel before in my Metaclasses video, suggesting that the use of Metaclasses to define class properties is one way to get around the issue. Another way is to utilise the dunder wrapped attribute on class methods that was added in Python 3.10. One part of Python's history that can finally be laid to rest is the 2-to-3 program and the lib2-to-3 module, which are capable of transforming Python 2 code into Python 3 code, easing the transition between the two. Obviously, this is now very old code, and with Python 2 long past end of life, it makes sense to get rid of it now. The story about why it's held on so long is a little more complicated though. 2-to-3 actually implemented its own parser, separate from the LL1 parser that CPython used at the time, and is actually the one that the black formatter uses. The change to the peg parser in Python 3.9 allowed for grammar that the 2-to-3 parser was unable to understand, first manifesting itself in Python 3.10. Black forked the project and fixed the problems they were having, though it was decided that it wasn't worth the core Python team continuing to maintain it, and it was deprecated in Python 3.11, ready to be removed in 3.13. As far as deprecations go, there isn't really anything that controversial here, like the datetime.utc now deprecation in Python 3.12. There are some undocumented features that are being removed to reduce maintenance burden, such as itertools' support for copy and pickle operations, as well as the keyword argument syntax for creating typed name tuples. The former is described as inefficient, historically buggy, and inconsistent, and the latter has no less than 4 viable alternatives, so I think we'll be fine without them. They're being removed in Python 3.14 and 3.15 respectively. Also going in 3.15 is Pathlib support for detecting reserved paths on Windows. The os.path variant still exists, though becomes increasingly incorrect every time Windows updates this behavior, which apparently is pretty frequently. The two APIs had drifted apart anyway, and the pure path variant was considered too attractive to use while not sufficiently declaring its caveats. If you still need to use it on other platforms like Unix-based platforms, you can import ntpath manually and call it from there. The only other one that might trip a lot of people up is the deprecation of the logging.warn method in favor of logging.warning. This has actually been deprecated since Python 3.3, though I'm guessing only in the documentation, and a runtime deprecation warning has been added in 3.13. Other deprecations state that this is the case for them more explicitly, but this one does not, so I'm just going to assume that's what's going on. And of course, if you fancy creating your own deprecations, you can now use the warnings.deprecated decorator. Now you can get in on the fun. Anyway, that covers my top picks for deprecations and removals in Python 3.13, though there are a lot more there. If you want to see the complete list, I've left a link down in the description for you to look at. Let me know in the comments what you'd really like to see gone, as well as what you're sad to see go. Check out my 3.13 playlist to find out more about the most recent release of Python, and I'll see you in the next one for whatever we do next.